Hey guys, it's Mike from Team Prohibition, and this last regionals, it's been a while, sorry for the late update, but we got N, and 3 out of the 4 main members that went actually topped, so...
There was 400 plus people, so there was 9 rounds, and it was top 48.
Yeah, so...
Big Columbus Regional. Big.
So I got 39th, guy behind the camera there, he got 42nd, so, yeah. We'll do a deck profile of both of ours. Our other member, Bryce, who I believe is texting Nate.
Yeah, he's saying he got booted from DN.
And,
just like everybody else is, same database error.
Yep. So, if we can get his sometime, well, no, I think he got rid of the deck since then.
What?
His rabbit deck. I don't think he's using it.
He still has it, he just kind of took it apart for now.
Okay. Well, either way, you get to see our deck list at least.
If anything, we could write it down and make it up on Duel Network.
Yeah, we'll show you one there. But he got 29th, I got 39th, and he got 42nd behind the camera. So here we go. I'll get right into my deck. I ran Sam's. So 3 keys on, like always, like every other Sam deck. 2 Elder. A lot of people play 3. I played 2 because I felt like 2 wasn't enough to get the job done. And I also played 2 Kagamusha. I get a lot of questions on that one too. Why? The simple answer is you don't want to overdo it, and to be perfectly honest, I didn't have the room because of what I want to do with the deck. So that's the main stuff. Optional.
Well, you continue.
Optional stuff. This one's a quite debated number. I run 2 Kizon or Kageki. Some people run 3 because Nate's phone just went off.
No.
Some people run 3. But I feel 2 is enough to get the job done, like I said before, because you don't sink in to Xian like you used to, and it's mostly Beast and Barkion, so...
Well, the fact he's at 1, you can't really sink very much into him anymore.
Yeah, you can't... The fact that he's at 1 kind of kills this card's consistency and value. It works to go into X-Saber Invoker, which I didn't even have up there, so it kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, but now that you have him, it makes it broken.
Oh yeah, it makes it a lot better. The next 4 is what I consider the Asceticism Brothers, because these cards make Asceticism never dead, because you have Grandmaster, Anishi, Iru, and Zanji. And pretty much y'all know what Grandmaster does. Let me explain that. Anishi is a
compulse on
per
wheels.
Turn. Yeah, it's a compulse. I don't even think it's once per turn.
It's during either player's turn. I
Yes.
think it's still one. I think it is once per turn.
It's once per turn. No, it's not once per turn.
Oh, well, if you have enough Sam targets in grave, go right ahead.
You have to banish 2 Sams to make it work, but as long as you have Sams in the grave, you can compulse things back to the opponent's hand on either player's turn, which is broken. Iru puts a stop to face-down monsters. You probably know that because he's an older, and Zanji destroys him at the end of the damage step, I believe.
Yep.
So, the reason why these cards never make Asceticism broken is because when Kageki has its boost, it can bring out the 17, these 2, and then when he doesn't have his boost, he's pretty much useless anyways. You put him in defense mode, that's what you do.
Yeah, you said him.
Of course, you have these 2 which play off each other when it comes to asceticism. But that's typical Sam structure. As far as the 18 goes, you have Kizon to bring him out. When Kizon has his boost, he also brings out Grandmaster. So,
pretty much with asceticism, he made sure he had an out for any time he had a monster on field. Regardless, I mean, he could just have a random Iru and he can go, oh, I'll bring out Anishi, or he could bring out, you know what I mean, just
back and forth. Or, if your opponent goes, if you bring out, like, Kizon, and they do, like, bottomless,
you can chain the asceticism.
You can chain the asceticism from your hand to bring out the Zanji, and then if you have another Kizon in your hand, you can still go off. So, they play off each other quite nicely.
And shush it, phone.
And here's the oddball of the deck, because it's forever alone. It has no asceticism target. It has no real reason to be in here other than the fact that it destroys a set back row card when there's another samurai out.
The lone samurai.
But it works well with him because you normal him, his effect, special summon him, pop a back row, and that's where you overlay into your
Invoker.
yeah. So he didn't even have it that big of an attack, but that's the monsters. Not a very big monster lineup, but it gets the job done. Obviously, the weird tech that I run in here is one duality, because if you draw it late game, it can win you the game. If you're like in that late game brawl where you and your opponent are top decking, this could win it for you. Just hope you don't draw into the Kageki, because that would be bad. Unless you have another samurai in hand. But simple stuff that should be in a samurai deck. You have the staples, the reinforcements. I run 2 MST. Heavy, Monster Reborn, no Dark Hole, because I dead draw it when I have a field full of monsters. It annoys me. But stuff that you absolutely have to have in Sam's. 3 asceticism. Card's never dead in this deck. United's.
I think there was one game that was dead.
Yeah, one game, but I ended up drawing into my out, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
But a lot of people run 2 United. I guess they're just not too big on... Because this card, you can dead this card. It happens. It's happened to me, but normally when I draw it, I can at least get 1 card off it, so it's fine. 2 Smoke Signal, because I'm not allowed to run 3.
Self-explanatory.
Pretty much. And then Gateway, because the card is freaking broken, even though you don't really even need it in Samurai. It actually hurt me a little more than it helped me up at regionals. So,
yeah, listen to this, folks. It hurt them more than it helped them.
if it was
Sorry
at
about the pinky.
if it was at 3 or even 2 and you ran this and you could draw it first turn, then that's good. But 1, you can dead draw it late game, and then it loses you the game. So,
But then again, you're one of those players that opened with it almost every game.
yeah, I opened it like 5 games out of the 9. Not both games, but it was like 5.
Once out of 5 rounds.
Yeah,
whenever
pretty
there's-
much.
There's 9, so I mean it's still good odds.
One time,
It's like Future Fusion and Chaos Dragons. They draw it like every time.
yeah, I actually drew this both games against my wind-up matchup, and he cried. He cried pretty bad. But, anyways, on to the traps. Typical controversial card in Samurai. A lot of people aren't big on it. Just because, I think it's because they die at the end phase, but if you still have Samurai on the end phase when you're using this, if you're not defending, you're an idiot.
It's good for, like, if you remember back in the day with X-Sabers, you run the Gotham's E-Call, Emergency Call. Well, now you can overlay with those targets if you have the right level monsters. So this card can't be dead unless you have no monsters engraved.
Yeah, it actually hurt me quite a bit, too, in the late game, but it happens. This is one of the odd parts about my Samurai deck. I have 2 Warning, no Judgment, 2 Deep Prison. Let me reverse it here. You might have to tip the camera up a little bit. 2 Bottomless, and 3 Compulse. It's a heavier back row setup than most Sam decks have. So,
Trying to prevent glare here. There we go.
yeah, it's kind of hard to when most of them are like shiny. But Samurai players aren't big on this. I think mainly because they like to have their huge spell setup to speed into their Beast and Barkion plays. But if you can't defend them, what's the point? They say you shouldn't mix Samurai with anti-meta. I said screw logic. So, there it is. Now, extra deck or side deck first?
We'll go with the sideboard.
Alright.
Because that's normally what people want to see. They don't really care about extra deck at times.
Yeah. Well,
Because sideboard wins you games.
yes, it does. System down. Didn't win me a game because I didn't play against any machines. Rivalry of Warlords smashed my, it helped me smash my hero and, wind-up matchup.
Still odd how it helped you beat a hero deck.
Yeah, well, it was mainly because he was dumb enough to sign in Thunder Kings when I did. So, he played that, and I was like, he normal summoned his alias, and I went, Rivalry? And he curled up in a ball under the desk and just cried. Leeching the Light, which I sided mainly for agents, but I only played one, and I didn't even side it, because I realized that it didn't scare me, but there was also the odd chance that you face that Rogue Heretic deck that might be good, so it's in there. Soul Drain, Macros, and
Wait, didn't you have 3 macro, or was it only 2?
No, I only ran 2.
Oh.
Yeah, that might be it. The Soul Drain and the Macros, the Soul Drain here, they were mostly sided in together in each deck. Like against my Mermail matchup that I won, I sided in on them, and I played a Dark World player, but I beat him so fast I didn't even see any Dark World cards. So, and I thought it was just Exodia because he was drawing a lot. But 2 Consecrated Light because I was kind of worried about Dark World a little bit. And you never know the odd ball matchups because we send one of our teammates in with Infernities. So it just seems like a good card to have just in case. 2 Thunder King and Prohibition. Prohibition is what ultimately won me the hero matchup. Prohibition, alias, first turn, he scooped. At first he didn't realize that you couldn't even
use it for fusions and stuff.
Use it for fusions from the graveyard. He tried it, called a judge, and the judge is like, you're an idiot. So...
Well, I didn't say it that way, but
in
a sense, he did.
If you would have heard the tone in the judge's voice when he was called over for this, it was like, did you really call me over for a prohibition ruling? But anyways, that's the side deck. The extra deck, there's only 1 card difference from when it was there. Tempo, X-Saber, Invoker. This is the one that's different. I was running Catastor in its place, but I finally got one I switched out. Basically what this helps you plus off your level 3 spam plays. So, it lets you bring out like Keys-Ons and stuff so you can sit there, bring them out, and plus off even more. But, the 2, it's 6 Samurai, Shein, the Shadow, and Excalibur. These 2 are both OTKs in itself because with him you can boost Kageki up to 35, and him you can just boost himself up to 4,000. Which allows for OTKs. Pappy, Shockmaster, Gunman, pretty much just... Shockmaster, everybody wants to run it. Pappy, it's good for when my opponent thinks he's going to hit me with a Marshmallow, because I can't get over Marshmallow main game. And this didn't win me anywhere near as many games as I thought it would.
Wasn't there a shout-out or something on this thing?
Oh yeah, big shout out to Slim X Team Symmetry for that one because I saw it in there when I was making my extra deck and I need extra space. I'm like, screw it, I'll put in Pappy. So, thank you, Slim, for filling up my extra deck. That's all the Xyz. I try to not go too Xyz heavy because I do run tuners. So,
which everyone thinks synchros are dead, and really they're not.
No, they're not. Mainly because of these 3.
These 3 prevent glare on this one.
That's kind of hard with him.
Well, you know what? We'll give him a cool effect. There we go. Look at that.
But yeah, these 3 ultimately won me almost every game that I won. This guy put in more work than any of them. If I could pull him out first turn, I brought him out first turn. When I brought him out first turn, I won. There's a couple times I didn't, but that was because my opponent was actually able to beat over him quickly. So it doesn't really even matter. So there's those 3. And then Rose, Beat Stick, my favorite Synchro monster because it gets over stuff. Most of meta because it's 27. Plus you gain life points and you hurt your opponent bad. Colossal Fighter because everybody that runs Sam's runs Colossal Fighter. And Mistworm. This card ultimately won me my invite because last game my opponent has these 2 out, mirror match, and I brought that out, pushed them back, and attacked for game. So, and that is the Six Samurai deck that topped 40 or 39th. So, Team Prohibition signing out.